And good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing? It is time for week 2 of episode Heresy as we go over all the various changes to the rotators and loot pools that can be found this week. For those new to the series, I go over everything in the rotator playlist as well as the Bright Dust offerings over in the Eververse store and Bright Dust only, as well as cover the newest episode quest line as well as the weekly seasonal challenges, so you can go over and check out how those are done as well. So if that said, I'll be live this evening over on Twitch playing through the entirety of week 2 of Heresy, so if you want to come out and check it out, feel free. And then we'll also probably be doing a dungeon run of the newest dungeon, Sunder Doctrine. Speaking of the dungeon, in the description below, I will have a list to all the weapons and their light GG pages, so you can check out the various rolls you can get from it, and only the weapons. There's no need to cover the armor just yet, that is. So if you want to check out those, feel free. But enough of this, let's go ahead and dive into and check out everything we have going on this week, starting with our core playlist, shall we? Alright, over in the Vanguard tab, for our Nightfall this week, as GMs are still closed, it is the Heist Battleground Mars on Hell's Basin. The weapon this week is the Rake Angle Stasis Glaive, so I'll have a link to that as well in the description below if you want to check it out. And the champions to deal with this week are Barrier and Unstoppable Champions, so make sure you're prepared for those. Also this week, it is double infamy over in the land of Gambit, so if you want to go ahead and grind out as much Gambit as you can to get it out of the way, good time to do that this week. And then for Crucible, we have Clash and Lockdown for the weekly rotators in the Crucible this week. Alright, for our rotating raid, dungeons, and exotic missions, we start off in the Legends tab, where we have the King's Fall raid. So if you're trying to get any of those weapons crafted or get the Touch of Malice, this is a good week to farm it out. So make sure you head on into that dungeon raid and get everything you need from it. It is also the Ghost of the Deep dungeon in this tab. So if you're trying to get the Navigator linear trace rifle, just trace rifle, my apologies. Good week to farm it out for the final encounter. And also Operation Sheriff's Shield if you're trying to get any remaining catalyst or even complete the Revision 0 pulse rifle. Alright, over on the moon is our last two raided dungeons. So we start off with the Guard of Salvation raid. So if you try to get the Divinity or any of the newly craftable weapons completed from that raid, good week to farm it out. And there's also the Pit of Heresy dungeon this week if you're trying to just goof around or get the Xenophage machine gun. Excuse me. That is it for the moon. Over in the Pale Heart this week, the weekly mission, my apologies, is the Ascent. So don't forget, you need yourself and a fire team member so you can shoot the front and back of a certain enemy, as well as 2 nodes in various rooms at the same time to progress through it. And it is currently the daily matchmaking overthrow over in the Impasse. So if you're trying to get a good roll on the on the Ergo Sum, good to farm it out. Over in the Dreaming City, the current Ascendant Challenge is over in Alphian's Rest with the Ouroborea Challenge. So if you need to get that weekly mission done, easy one to get completed. And then starting over on Europa for the week, we have Bunker E15 as our Lost Sector for the day. However, the Lost Sector for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are currently still unknown as it hasn't done a full rotation. But that said, on Saturday, we'll be continuing with Alphian's Rest in the Dreaming City, the Chamber of Starlight also in the Dreaming City, and then finalizing on Monday with Hydroponics Delta on Neomuna. So that is our weekly rotating Lost Sectors for the week. And then over on Neptune, our current terminal overloads over here in Zephyr Concourse, with the daily Vex Incursion Zone being down in Lemming Harbor. So if there's any exotics you need from the Incursion Zone, keep an eye on that. or if you need to get some weekly stuff done with the terminal overload, great time to get it done here as well. Alright. That is it for our rotators. So, real fast, let's go ahead and go over how the week 2 quest line begins for Act 1 of Heresy, and then cover our weekly seasonal challenges. So starting off with, we have Mission Dossier Anchored Thrones. A Lucent Hive collaborator has alerted Deputy Sloan to a possible anchor within Southern Throneworld. So we'll be going to the Throneworld to take care of the first mission this week. And then for our weekly seasonal challenges, we have Echoed Warnings Part 2. Complete Act 1 Part 2 of Echoed Warnings. Heretical Arsenal. Defeat combatants with machine gun final blows. Bonus progress in episode Heresy activities or by defeating Guardians. This challenge offered a special masterwork reward with an additional order trait. So, as I found out with week 1, this weapon only has an additional masterwork. It is not one of the special rolls you can get from the Dreadnought Nether activity, where it could come with double perk columns. It is only double origin traits, so while still good, because you get runneth over, not the best. So make sure you still are farming the Nether activity to get the best possible rolls, including adept rolls. Then we have Sigil Cracker. Destroy sigil stones that drop from defeated combatants around the system to purge the written words of the deep. Focus Scriptures. Earn focus rewards from your boosted Tome of Want. Frozen Weave. Defeat combatants with strand or stasis damage in the Nether. Earn bonus progress when empowered by one of the following boons: Herald the Deep, Paracausal Siphon, or Finishing Strand. And you'll get one of the Cure of the Knives, which we still do not know what those are for. We then have Large Arm Soulfire. Defeat targets with machine guns or grenade launchers. Additional progress were granted in episode Heresy activities or by defeating Guardians in Crucible. I don't know if it is solely heavy grenade launchers or all GLs in general. That's something to keep in mind. We then have Taken Destroyer. In any Vanguard Ops or Gambit playlists, defeat Taken combatants. Earn additional progress for defeating them with ability final blows. And then lastly, Bank on It. Complete Gambit matches earn bonus progress for wins and winning with the most banked motes. Alright, that is it for week 2 of Heresy. So let's go ahead and finalize this video with a tour through the brightest offerings in the Eververse store, shall we? Alright, so on the first page, you'll notice there is a free Adherent Adoration consumable. Do not know exactly what this is other than the hollow chip stuff that they kind of got leaked last week. Sadly, we cannot preview it, so seeing what it is a little hard to figure out. Alright, so we start off with the Pied Piper emote from last episode. We then have the Storm Weaver ship from the Strand set last episode. The Sterile Neutrino Transmat effect. The Boreal Char shader. Not a bad one. We then have the Mediator shader. Alright, next on the Bright Dust page, we start off with the Venus Flytrap multiplayer emote. Alright, we then have for Warlocks, the Cenotaph, the Hammerick Hood Weapon Warlock ornament for Cenotaph mask, or as also known as the Aircraft Carrier helmet. We then have the Jade Weft Sparrow, also from the Strand set. The M3D1 Valkyrie ship. the Halcyon Visage Sparrow, the Ancient Hunger ornament for Touch of Malice, and the Hive Ghostly Projection. Okay. We then have the Smashing Success shader, the First Light shader, the Royal Welcome shader, the Amethyst Bloom shader, the Tiger Transmat effect, the Stasis Entrance Transmat effect, and lastly the Unspun Fate Transmat effect. And that is it for week 2 of episode Heresy. Once again, I'll be streaming live this evening around 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be playing through the entirety of the week 2 narrative and possibly doing a dungeon run with my clan. We will see if I can get 2 more people for it. But hope to see you there. Hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you in this video, everybody. Goodbye.